So, again, we live in a world where pretty much anything goes. Some say, should we prepare for the future? Is something going to happen? Is the computers going to take over the planet? Oh, well, why do we have to worry about stuff like that? I'm psychic. I predicted something completely different for the elections. If things went out the way they did, it'd be a lot different today. But the underdog won. And this is where it is now. People still complain no matter who's in that White House. They complain no matter what, you know? And people want a better life. People want so much. Should we get rid of all the fuel? All the fossil fuel? Should we just get rid of all that fuel? We have better technology, but we don't use it. We're still primitive. Why are we primitive? Why don't we do more? But yet, we're still using combustion engines. Why are we using combustion engines? We're not going to get better gas mileage. They have to throw a battery in there to increase the mileage. But that's only for stop and go. City driving. That's not for getting on that highway and driving at a high speed. You know, oh wow, speed limit 75, speed limit 85, speed limit 105. As fast as your vehicle can go. The speed limit says, as fast as your vehicle can go. You'll floor it. So that's pretty much what they're doing now. We have races on the main interstate. Yeah, sports cars racing each other, weaving in and out. They do get in accidents. It's very dangerous on the road. Be careful. Which lane are you safe in? They're all the same. The slow lane could become a super fast lane. Whichever lane those speeders want to go into, they will go into, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, gas prices up and down. 1 minute, 99, 199, 299, 399, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those pumps are designed to go up to what? 999, 999.999, and yet that's what they want. But those rich oil companies, they have trillions of dollars, and no matter what they charge, they still make money. That's what people forget. No matter what you charge, you still make money. Are you losing money? No, but there has to be more of these fuels. They try. They have 100%. Corn. Well, it's not really 100% gasoline anymore because they put corn in there. The corn farmers say, hey, what about all this corn that we got? We'll make gasohol. There was gasohol, but they still have ethanol. Okay, you can fill up your tank with ethanol. Some gas stations have ethanol, unleaded plus, unleaded, supreme, or they call it supreme gasoline. Different octanes. Do you know there's racing fuel? Yeah, it's racing fuel. Over 100 octane. White pump. Some gas stations have it. Up north, I saw a lot of stations had that. I said, wow, racing fuel. White pump. But, do we need that? No, you have a racing car. Those are for people racing their vehicles. In Europe, I drove in Europe, so I see how their system works, but they use different. They use the grades with stars. I drove in Canada. So I drove in all the United States. Drove down in the Caribbean, one of the islands. I drove, like I said, Canada, the United Kingdom. Yeah. So I get the kind of feel of the road, you know, and experience the different gas features. Stick shift, automatic. But the whole thing boils down to this. Are you prepared for what's coming? Are you prepared for what matters? Is the future gonna be like it is? The future was supposed to be different. This is the last election that we had. If the other side didn't lose it, you would have it. The 8 cycles. They would have three presidents with 8 cycles, 8 years. 8 years. But things change now. Something happened. So one of the presidents started to lose his mind. That changed everything. And the underdog won. But the underdog spent most of his time trying to help and change things around, which is good. Then we find out how much waste and spending going on. So now, where we at? We got a war going on. We got all kind of stuff going on. There was a war supposed to come in 2027 over Thailand. That's what I predicted. I see a lot of generals predicted it as well. But again, it all could shift because of the economy, and we have tariffs and all that. Tariffs are supposed to bring more money to us. But when I go buy portable air conditioning, it's pretty high. Holy cow. And there's a lot of things that are not sold in the United States anymore. You know? Well, they have to protect us, right? Other things going on too. Yeah? I can't talk about that yet. And as soon as I can talk about it, I'll talk about it. But that I've seen out of control and came out of nowhere. But people don't talk about it because that's what they do. I'm just telling you. Should we worry about the future now? Or should we? Are we living in the future? Yes. Because I teach as a grandmaster of Reiki. I do Reiki. We have a Reiki channel. Yeah. Reiki with Albert. Just search for it. Reiki. R-E-I-K-I with Albert. Search for that. And you'll see my healing and teaching like that. When I heal, it's a different story. It's real. It's not. This is real because I'm talking to you real. It's not role play. You know, we have a medical channel, and we do that's for relaxing, feeling quiet, the tingles and relaxation. That's what that's for. We have a barber channel, same thing. It's all for relaxation. Tech channel, if you want to know about tech, a lot of tech ideas. Tech, that's what I do. Tech for a long time. Developer. Yeah. You have a lot of history. I am very intelligent, and I use my intelligence to make good. But I tell everybody, you're living right now. This is your future. You're in your future now. Because each day is another day. After midnight, boom. The past drops back. And yesterday was another day. Because we recycle our days in a week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, throughout the whole month. Some months have some months have 28 days, some months have 29, then 30 and 31. They want to change the daylight savings time, and keep it like one, so we don't have to have this constantly shifting. Because is it 1 o'clock or is it 2 o'clock? You have to keep thinking because they have that shift going on, and it's shift right now. But again, should we worry about the future? Are the AIs going to take over the planet? Do you not have to work anymore? Well, yes. That money system has to go. That money system is awful. We have poor people, homeless people. This is America. Not supposed to be like that. This is enough. There's a whole bunch of land. There's towns that are empty. Why are there so many towns that are empty in the United States? Of course, Kansas, the Kentucky, Tennessee, everywhere. Nobody talks about those. Nobody knows. But they're empty. The people that grew up in those towns, they're in their 60s, some of them in their 60s, and some want to stay. They don't want to move. When everybody else moved because of flooding and tornadoes and everything else, and hurricanes, people fled, and I don't want to stay here, and they leave the house behind. So now a lot of people stay there, and they die, and the town become a ghost town. There's nobody's there. But all the homeless could go into those homes. We could rebuild, fix A lot of people can volunteer, maybe cut back, they don't have to work, pay so much in taxes. That's because that's how the system works. They can build those towns. People can move there. They don't have to live off the street. Nobody should be on the street living. They should be, or in their cars too. They can be living. That's our future. Our future is to get them off the streets and get them out of poverty. We have so much money. We have so much. Now, well, the money's backed by gold and other things. But say we get rid of this system. Say we get rid of the gasoline. Use alternative fuels. There's other ways of. Not talking about the battery because you have to depend on China with the battery because we don't have all the earth minerals to make the batteries. But wait a minute, why are we making the batteries out of lithium batteries when we have other technology too? What happened to our thinking of how to make cars? We used to do everything here. Everything's not done here anymore. The pandemic woke everybody up. There's shortages. What's going on? Who's running things? Gas? Why are we so dependent on gas? So we had electric, then plug-in hybrids that have a gasoline engine to generate the power and generate the power to charge up the battery. That technology is coming out. You got Nissan doing that. You got e-power. I don't know how those run because I never had those. So I don't know. I never really drove hybrid or plug-in hybrid. It's always been gasoline. I'm tired of driving those things because the gasoline engine, you have to worry so much about it. You have to change the transmission fluid, you have to change the belts, serpentine belts, you have to change everything, alternator, gasoline, you have all kinds of problems, and those stuff is heavy. I had an idea. Hey, take out the air conditioning system. Would I save gasoline? Nope, because the computer will go off and say, hey, something's missing. Yeah, what's missing is the compressor. So, the future. Again, how do you see the future? You see no cars, no trucks, everything's automated? Could be. Could it be a place that we're all at peace? No more none of these superpowers, everybody's just the same? Nobody's worried, there's no famine, there's no hunger, no nothing. We're living in glass domes or using new technology, have a shield. Each country has their own shield so nobody can fire anything at each other in case somebody wants to take control. What a crazy system that we have in place. It doesn't make no sense. A lot of you're complaining all the time. You're upset. Is that for your fault? Worried about so many different things. Why? Why do we worry? Why do we care? Why is the world the way it is? Could it be better? Yeah. You got all these countries controlling the oil. We have oil. We have natural gas. Do you know there's natural gas vehicles? Yeah, NGV. Natural gas. We're not allowed to use it. Only government. Local governments can use it, but not us. We can't. Can't touch it. Nope, not allowed. Does it run poorly? I asked a guy who was driving one of these cities I used to work in. I said, "What's that? NGV? Is that natural gas? Oh, how does that run?" He's the same thing. Better gas mileage. Better gas mileage. Wow, isn't that a fact? See, when Ford back in the day made the first vehicle, they didn't care. Everything was the same color. They didn't care. As we progress, the vehicle got better. But the gas was cheap. Could you imagine if you were paying a nickel today for gasoline? But you're not. No, it's a different ball game. It's not the same like it was. And we live in a world now that we are so dependent on this gasoline. They don't want to make the electric vehicles anymore because they're too expensive and nobody's buying. Who's going to spend $500,000 for a top-of-the-line EV truck with everything in it? You can't afford that. And who's going to repair it? It'll be very expensive. What happened? It should be cheap. I know that Chevy has the Bolt, But that engine, that battery in there is made in China. What is made here? Most of that vehicle, they got the electronics coming from South Korea. Yeah, the fancy dash. We should have that technology. Didn't we come out with stuff like that? What happened? We got lazy? Chrysler's gone. Dodge, Chrysler, most of it's gone to another company. What happened? What happened to everything? Everything changed. The system's not working. All these little smaller companies, big companies bought them out, but they're still around. When I was a kid, we had Drake. I think it's Drake. It was coffee cake. You got a big one like this for 25 cents. Well, first it was 10 cents. Today, that same coffee cake is under a different name, but they're tiny little coffee cakes. What the heck happened? And they're expensive. Little miniaturized. What the heck? What's going on? What happened? Why did everything change like it did? It's expensive today. You know it too. You know it. Bag of Doritos. It's 59 cents. How much it go from 59 cents when it first came out? $89, $48, $1.89. That the price kept on going up. But why are prices going up? Costs more to travel? Well, why don't these companies get rid of all these tractor trailers and use electric tractor? You know, Tesla was working on that. What happened to that? Just stop? When everything stopped, like no progress is being made. Cars, nobody's buying no new cars. Everybody's holding on to the old car because the old car didn't have all this control. They want you to drive and not fall asleep or get angry if somebody cuts you off, or you're mad. I can't stand it anymore, you know, and you step on the accelerator and get mad. Somebody cut you off, or somebody get, you know, or somebody did something. You're gonna go, I'm gonna go after that person, you know, like, and you get angry. So the car is now gonna control. It's gonna determine how you're driving. If you're driving reckless, you're speeding, you know, all sorts of things. You're gonna have to slow it down because insurance companies don't want to pay out, you know, accidents, you know, and all the, so it falls back on so many things. So they, in the big houses, said, hey, we don't want the public to go crazy driving, so we'll come out, use tech. The AI in the car will now detect, scan, self-driving. You know, you can't just sleep like that and expect the thing to drive on its own because it's scanning you. You have to be alert. You know, we had cruise control, right? It handled the pedal. You know, accelerator, you have to put your foot, because you're driving a long distance and your feet can hurt, you know. Now you can put your feet down, but, you know, you have to be alert. You know, you can control the cruise and the speed. You can accelerate, you can decelerate, like that. But now we can go beyond that now. You know, the vehicle's smart. You can detect things on the side, in the back. You know, you have more features. Backup camera. You got backup camera, you got forward camera, you got 360-degree camera. You know, it's really secure now. Things are different. This is the future you're in. You're in the future. Why are you going to worry about what's coming there? Because by 3000, all of us are gone. The society that we have now, gone. There's nothing. We'd be more peaceful, more advanced. But we won't see it. As a seer, I can see into the future. Utopia is finally here. AI's doing all the work. Nobody wants to work. You know that. Come on. Nobody wants to work. The AI be more accurate, can put the car together better. You saw they had the robots, but still doesn't. Humans still doing it. The AI can be your doctor. You talk to Alexa. you talk to all of them. I can't say the names because then, you know, things will kick on. But I'm just saying, they're there. Saying you happy birthday, you're by yourself. This is the future. The AI is there. They want the computer to talk back to you. You want to interact with the computer. The computer is controlling all the customer service, all the banking systems. Everything is done. So better not be late with your bills because it's there. It's changed now. The computer's smart meters control the water supply. Heck, my water bill's over $100. Huh? I quickly went out there. Any leaking, clamp it up, spot weld it, do whatever they gotta do, but don't let it get out of control. You know, fix the bathroom toilets. You know, anything that drip, or there should be no drip. Fix everything. Get off your butt and fix it. And hopefully your water bill will be lower. Hopefully electricity will be lower. But electricity is high now because we got this heat wave. It's still here. 90 degrees doesn't mean it's 90 degrees. It could be 115. It was 115 the other day. You know, it's high. I used to I was in Arizona. I was at one of those fancy resorts with the pool and everything. You know? It was 105, 115, 120. Even the pool was boiling. You know, but I stayed mostly inside because it was cool. I'll go up to Colorado, up in the mountains, up in those Rocky Mountains, all the way up in the mountains there near the Stanley Hotel. You know, up there, cold in the winter. Snow. I drove it over to the top of the mountain. I see the elk and all snow, and I said, "Wow, never experienced all that before." I was trying to, or the moose, whatever they call it, because they have the same creature in Canada too. When you go over the border, they'll be speaking English in certain places here. You have to break out that French that you learned in high school and talk. And everything there is liter. You know, not a gallon. Even though at the time my Dodge was made in Canada, so the speedometer was set up where it had miles and kilometers. That kind of helped. But the whole thing is this. This is the future for us. Now is the future. We won't be here to see what's coming up. Well, these nations press the button and have World War 3, 4, 5, 6, or where they have common sense and not to do all that. Because they already know what's going to happen. Do they want to destroy everything? No. They threaten each other. It's terrible. It's like little kids playing with their toys. But this is what happens. This is the way society is. And that's it. But before I go, that AI can help you. Be there for you. If you got nobody else to talk to. Could you imagine living on your own? You have nobody. The AI is there to talk. You can talk to it. It will talk to you. Ask it if it could be your friend. If it can't be your friend, then there's no sense talking to it. Move on to the next one. And you'll find out who's your friend and who's your not. A lot of people have the AI for companionship and stuff like that. Or order food, the little AI come down the street, opens up the door and gives you your bag. Or the drones, they had drones. I don't know if they're still using the drone. I never see anything. The drones would drop the package down for Amazon. But they're getting to a point where a lot of people are going to lose their jobs because the drone's going to take over. The drones could be the army, police, fire. Take care of your kids at school, you know. The nanny, your nurse, the doctor. Dr. AI. Be more active. They can scan you right there, tell you what's wrong with you. And they can fix it without major surgery. This is where we're going with that technology. So everybody is on the same level. There's no rich, there's no poor. Everybody has. You don't have to worry about money. What you want comes like that. But that world is not now. We're still pretty much the same. And that's the way it is. If we went back 100 years, it'd look primitive, right? Now, it's 2026. Imagine 1926, okay? Or 1826. You know? You gotta stop and think how we progressed. We progressed a lot. We are in the future because this is the future for us now. Do we need bomb shelters like they had back in the 50s? No. We should have a button. We press this button, right? It would sound like this. And the ground would open up and the house would drop down and seal. Storms, hurricanes, bad weather, flooding, non-existent. And then the computer would tell you it's safe to go back up. You press it, you flip the switch again, and the door opens up, and the house rises up. Wouldn't that be great? That's your future. This is your future now. You are living the future. 2026. If you made it so far, congratulations. Stick around. 2027 is going to be a fun year, because that's when all the stuff is going to hit the fan. And then by 2030, there's somebody else predicting, oh, things gonna change in 2030. Things can change before that happens. I could say tomorrow you all win the lottery, but y'all can't win the lottery. There's not enough money in that lottery to win. Or lawsuit against all these different manufacturers, $50 million. But if you got over 50 million people, you're not going to get that $50 million. It's going to be divided up. That's the way it is. I was in a lawsuit where the law asked me what I want. I said, can I get 50,000? So I called up the secretary, and I was allowed to talk. And he said, well, what did we all get? What did we get? She said, well, 300,000. Oh, 300,000. How many people getting that? Well, there's about 300 of you, so that's about 1,000 each. What? So crazy. That's how these lawsuits are. So when they say, "Hey, there's a lawsuit and it's paying all this money," it depends what kind of lawsuit it is. What happened? If it was something that you send somebody money, or something happened, you don't know. Some people get back more money, 23,000. Some people get back less money. It depends what kind of lawsuit you're suing for and trying to collect from. That they tell you, hey, there's a lawsuit against this company. Do you have this product? This product has been recalled. This problem not good. This problem. Last time there was the cars airbags. When the airbag shoots out, it shoots metal. They replace all that for free, no matter what year that vehicle was. They replaced it. They had to. It's a safety violation. But once the airbags are deployed in your vehicle, it costs a lot of money to replace them, or the vehicle is total, gone. Stuff. So again, the future is now. You're living in the future. Welcome to the future. The future is here to stay.